So if you're unaware, currently beef prices are through the roof. So I haven't been able to get my hands on a reasonably priced brisket to try on my offset smoker. But I've been seeing a lot of videos recently of people smoking a pork belly like a brisket. So I figured, why don't I try it myself? So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So let's get to it. So as you can see, this pork belly has already been cut, and what I did with the rest of the pork belly is I made some delicious pork belly burnt ends on my Weber Smoky Mountain 14-inch. So if you did not see that video, make sure to watch it after this one. So off the bat, very much unlike a brisket, I am not gonna trim this at all. This is already ready for binder and seasoning. So for binder, what I have been doing for the past few briskets is I've been using soy sauce. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. So as I'm looking at this pork belly, it does have some silver skin on it, but I'm going to be cooking this meat side down, so the silver skin will kind of protect it. So not too worried about that. Plus with this binder on, the rub should stick on no problem. So if you've seen any of my other brisket videos, you already know what's coming next. I'm going to season this in the style of Jirby barbecue. And on that note, I need to say congratulations to Jirby Barbecue and Goldees Barbecue for getting #1 in Texas Monthly's top 50 this year. That is absolutely incredible. Wow. Congratulations. I wish I would have went to Goldees before that list came out, because now when I go in the future, the lines are gonna be like Franklin's, but I'm sure the barbecue's well worth it. But anyways, let's go ahead and season this up. So Jirby style is pepper, salt, and then Lawry's in that order. Okay, this is ready for the pit, so let's go ahead and get that set up. So once again, I'm using post oak splits from B&B, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who commented on the last video and gave me all your suggestions about where I should get wood. I'm trying to source some right now, and we had a tree that actually fell, so I'm going to probably be using that in the very near future once it gets seasoned. So I got a chimney of lump charcoal here, and it's all ready to pour as the base for my fire. I'm just gonna show you guys how I set up the fire, because I'd love to hear you guys' suggestions and just let me know what I'm doing wrong, or things that you would do better. So basically when I pour out the charcoal, I try to put the charcoal as close to the cook chamber as possible, because that's where I want the fire to be rolling. The closer the fire is to the cook chamber, the more efficiently it will burn and the less wood I'll have to use ultimately. So the way that I'll start it out is I'll use 2 of those thin pieces that I have from splitting the wood, and I'll kind of just put them almost as guardrails for the fire. And the hope is that these will catch and ignite, start the fire rolling, and then I can put a thicker piece on top of it, kind of like a snowball effect. So the smaller pieces ignite, and then put a bigger piece on, and then introduce a even larger piece, and kind of just go that way. That way the fire continues to grow, the fire continues to amp up in temperature, and then at that point, anything will ignite. So now you can see that our logs are ignited. As you can see at the door, I have like a thicker piece right here. I'm just letting that get warmed up, because that's the piece that I'm gonna put on top right now. It's already caught, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this rolling for about 2 or 3 minutes to let a lot of the smoke clear out, and then I'm gonna close it and then try to get this pit up to temp. Okay, so pit is up to temp, so let's throw this belly on. So I'm just gonna keep this belly on for a few hours, keep the chamber closed, let it get some good color, and then I'll see if I need to spray it in a couple hours. Also for this cook, I'm gonna be using some Wagyu beef tallow. So if you're interested in trying this stuff out, I will have a link in the pinned comment so you can try it out yourself. I don't have a utensil, so I'm gonna just have to scoop this out, but I don't need a whole lot. Yeah, it's good enough. So I'm gonna let that just get some smoke flavor on it, and also just melt it down so that I can use it later on in the cook. So as you can see, the bark is looking really nice on this. It has some really good color. I probably should have rotated it, honestly, because this side looks a lot lighter than this side. But check out this fat. It's just so pillowy and soft. It's like a marshmallow, like once you cook it on the campfire, and it's like all fluffy and poofy. Yes, very excited to try this. Okay, so we're about 3 hours into the cook, and initially the plan was that I was going to wrap this in the Chud foil boat method once we hit the stall. However, unbeknownst to me, the pork belly was gonna push through the stall and pretty much be ready at the 3 hour mark. So at this point, I'm thinking I'm just gonna rest it and use the beef tallow in the wrap when I rest it. Okay, time to wrap the pork belly. So let me grab this. So remember our friend the beef tallow? So initially I was gonna wrap the pork belly in butcher paper and put this beef tallow on the meat side, but unfortunately I did not end up wrapping this. I just cooked it all the way through unwrapped. So I'm gonna end up just using this while I rest it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pour this out on the paper. A nice smear. Then give the paper a nice spritz. That way it's easy for the paper to adhere to the meat. Then let me grab this pork belly. Oh my gosh, it's like falling apart. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, so the belly was like pretty stuck to the grate. It took a little bit of the fat off, not too much to cry about, but I gotta remember that in the future. I'll probably cut this down into more manageable pieces because it's just too heavy for how much fat it is. I mean, just look at that jiggle. Can you see that? I don't know if you guys can see it. Man, so let's wrap it up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this, put it in a cooler, let it rest, and then we will slice it and give it a try very soon. Also, as you can see, my father-in-law has been compiling a bunch of hardwood that he's gotten from a bunch of trees on the property. So the plan is that we're going to chop up this wood using a log splitter this weekend. We're gonna rent one from Home Depot. But anyways, I will not have a video on this channel, us splitting up the wood. So if you're interested in that, I'm actually gonna upload some of that footage and pictures on my Instagram, which I just made. So make sure to follow me on there for not only the logs, but I'll have a lot of sneak peeks on videos that I'm gonna do and just great pictures of meat and compilations like that. So check me out on Instagram and BBQ Cookout. Okay, and an hour later, this thing is ready to cut. So let's unwrap it. Okay, let's go ahead and cut a slice off of this. Oh man, so pillowy, so soft. Oops. Man. So off the bat, I can see that the bottom is really well done. It's like low-key kind of crispy, but that's on me. I was not really good at managing the fire. It was swinging up and down between like 275, 325, so that'll just come with experience, but I'm sure it still tastes good. Okay, time to grab a piece and give it a try. All right, cheers. The fat just melts in your mouth. Again, the lean side is like way too crispy. It's actually like crunching when I'm biting into it. I'm still just learning. This is my second cook on the offset, and I'm just glad that I didn't burn a brisket instead of this pork belly. Also, another thing, for my taste, this pork belly is way too salty. So in the future, I'm either gonna just do Lawry's and pepper or salt and pepper, not both Lawry's and salt. And if you like offset cooks, make sure to watch my first video on the Old Country pecos, which is on your screen right now.